A magical land is plagued with lots of monsters called Nemeses who come from the sky in giant eggs. People who survived contact with Nemesis are cursed, but these cursed people also gain magical abilities, making them sorcerers. Our hero's name is Seth. Seth was very young when he came in contact with a Nemesis. Now, he has obtained magical abilities. He even has little horns on his head, proof that he is cursed with magic. One day, Seth is showing off his magic to a kid named Tommy. In the process, he knocks a rock so hard it lands on a farm full of... cows? Elephants? Cowlephants? Wait, is this Avatar The Last Airbender? Anyways, the Cowlephants escape and riot all over the village. Meanwhile, in another part of the village, Seth's master, named Alma, is shopping, or at least she's trying to. You see, normal humans hate sorcerers because, yeah, prejudice is cool. The whole village is getting destroyed by the Cowlephants, so Alma uses her magical powers to bring the Cowlephants in line. However, the people throw rocks at her, calling her a dangerous witch and all. But Alma does not get angry. She is used to such prejudice and racism. She just takes Seth away on her broomstick. That night, as they're cleaning Alma's castle in the sky, Seth says how unfair it is that sorcerers are treated with such prejudice even though they are so cool and powerful. Alma says that people are just afraid of something they don't understand. She also commands Seth to be careful. If he gets caught by the wrong people, they might execute him. The next day, a huge Nemesis egg drops on the village. Since Alma has gone to another village, Seth takes lots of her magical stuff and goes to fight the Nemesis alone. The people get scared, so they start calling for Alma, those hypocrites. They get the light version of Alma, that is, Seth. The egg cracks just then, and the huge Nemesis reveals itself. Seth uses his magic explosions and sword, but it's no use. The Nemesis knocks him out. Then it is just about to kill Tommy, but Seth takes the blow and saves him. Tommy asks the villagers to save him, but no one has the courage to move. Seth is just about to be killed, but suddenly some sorcerers appear out of the sky and save him. The new sorcerers use their magic to bind the Nemesis. They call themselves the Bravery Quartet, a group of traveling sorcerers. Their leader with the bad fashion sense is called Dawn. Seth is happy because this is proof that sorcerers are good people. Dawn and his men take the villagers to evacuate while the time of the binding runs out on the Nemesis. Seth is given the task of distracting it until then. When the time runs out, the Nemesis comes out. He magic punches it, but the Nemesis simply returns his punch. So he takes some huge chains and traps the Nemesis. Seth starts gloating and laughing, so the Nemesis shows its true power and blasts him with a magic cannon. It destroys a huge chunk of the village. Thankfully, Seth dodges. But something is wrong. The Bravery Quartet are using the distraction to steal from their bank. Seth arrives at the scene and he is devastated to see sorcerers doing this evil stuff. Dawn says that humans don't care about sorcerers except when they need help. Dawn even gives him some money to shut up. But Seth just punches through the money and sends Dawn flying. Seth starts to beat them up, but their magic is too strong for him. The Nemesis also breaks free, so the Bravery Quartet runs away bravely. The Nemesis prepares to shoot them. All the villagers get scared, but Seth gets up and steps in front of them, saying that he's the type of sorcerer who protects everyone. The Nemesis shoots and Seth somehow stops its power with just his hands. Then Seth jumps forward and punches a hole through the Nemesis. All the villagers are in shock. The Nemesis gets up for one last tango, but Alma returns just then and kills it. That night, Alma says that she caught the Bravery Quartet. She also scolds Seth for using magic barehanded because apparently no one sorcerer can use magic barehanded. Even though they saved the village, they're still in danger of being prejudiced. So Seth says that he'll destroy all Nemesis and then no one else will be infected. Alma says that he'll need to destroy Radiant. Radiant is apparently the thing that creates all Nemesis. No one knows what it is or where it is. Alma thinks back to her backstory. 10 years ago, she saved Seth from a Nemesis attack. They both lost everything, and Alma even lost her memories and her right arm. So she raised him, trying to find who she was and who the boy was. One day, she went out to hunt a Nemesis. Seth was alone and he was bullied by some typical bully kids. Seth got angry and lost control. He destroyed everything around him, including the kids. The villagers prepared to burn him at the stake, so Alma scared them all away and saved him. After that day, she built the castle in the sky to raise Seth safely. The next day, Seth decides to go and find the Radiant even though he has zero plans like a typical Shunin hero. So Alma gives him a broomstick and new gloves for his journey. Seth cries and hugs Alma before leaving. Alma also turns around and cries. Seth waves goodbye to Tommy and goes in search of the Radiant. 3 days later, some Inquisition officers are coming in their direction. The Inquisition are sorcerer hunters, and they hate all sorcerers because they have been cursed by the Nemesis. Meanwhile, a scientist named Doc is summoned by Alma to retrieve the Nemesis body. And what happened to Seth in 3 days? He is caught by a team of Inquisitors led by Captain Dragunov. Dragunov arrests Seth for being a sorcerer and keeps him in a cage of black silver that blocks his magic. While he's in a dungeon, Seth thinks about Alma. Alma told him to go to a town called Artemis, which is full of sorcerers, and there find a man named Yaga. Just then, another sorcerer named Mélie wakes up in a cage next to him. Mélie is a cheerful girl, and she's actually the assistant of Doc, whom we saw earlier, and they are both from Artemis. Mélie has a small Nemesis companion named Bobley. Just then, Dragunov also catches Doc and arrests him for possessing the Nemesis body. Doc has no magic, he's only a scientist. Just then, Bobley steals the keys and they break free. They use some substitution jutsu to hide, but Dragunov stops them. But Mélie's curse is like this. If she is in a stressful situation, her personality changes and she becomes a scary person. She blows them all away. Dragunov pulls his arrow on her, but Seth stops him with his magic punch. They fly in his broomstick to Doc's ship. Then they fly on Doc's ship to escape. And just like that, they finally reach the city of Artemis. The whole town is full of sorcerers like them, and it is beautiful. In order to utilize the facilities of Artemis, Seth must register as a resident. They go to the castle for the admission ceremony. The leader of Artemis is a cat, because, of course. His name is Master Lord Majesty. Master Lord. Let's just call him Majesty. Seth remembers Alma's words. She told him to stay away from a yellow cat. Majesty is a yellow cat. Majesty makes the new members, including Seth, sign a long contract that puts them in the debt of the Artemis Academy. This cat is a weasel. Since Doc is his guardian here, he is also responsible for clearing Seth's debt. They go around town looking for Yaga. They spend more and more money, incurring more debt to Majesty. Some drunk men tease Mélie, so her dark personality blows the entire pub away. Now they have to pay for damages. More debt. Just then, a man in a cauldron overhears them looking for Yaga. This cauldron man is actually Yaga, the former mentor of Alma. Suddenly, Dragunov and his Inquisition attack them, but Majesty uses his influence to send them away. Seth tells them of his plans to destroy Radiant and end all Nemesis, but Yaga says that it's just a dream. No one knows for sure if Radiant exists or not. Still, Seth is determined. Elsewhere, Dragunov tells everything that happened to the leader of the Inquisition, General Torque. They are wary of Seth because of his horns and because he used magic with his bare hands. Yaga is not impressed by Seth's lack of magical experience, so Seth asks Mélie to teach him magic. Mélie only knows defensive magic, so she takes him to Doc, but Doc is busy trying his hand with Lady Love, as in, he's going to propose to a cute waitress named Melba. But Doc has one problem. Melba's father is cursed as a puppet and he lives on Melba's hand. I mean, going to the toilet must be pretty awkward for her. And showers and stuff. Anyways, Melba's father is super protective of Melba, and he hates Doc. Seth asks Doc to teach him magic. Doc does not want to help him, but Melba convinces him to teach him. Doc cannot use magic himself, but he can read the magical books, and he guides Seth in his lessons. Seth gets so excited that he accidentally hurts Doc. Since nothing is working, Mélie gets sad, and because of that, her personality changes and she starts attacking Seth for real. Because of this, Seth is forced to learn the magic that he learned. In anime, the tough lessons always work. Because of his improvement, Yaga tells Seth about Radiant. He confirms that Radiant does exist, but only a first-rate sorcerer can reach it, so Seth will have to train really hard. Yaga throws his magic at Seth, but Seth just stops it with his hands. Seeing this, Yaga takes him as his student. Yaga immediately puts him through crazy intense training, but his gloves keep getting torn. Since Seth is not doing well, Yaga puts special gloves on him that stop his magic. Seth will not be allowed to remove it unless he learns to control his magic responsibly. If he removes them, then he will be expelled. Later, Majesty calls them to his castle because Seth has incurred the highest debt in the history of Artemis. Since they can't repay his debts right now, he puts them on various chores around the castle to reduce a small part of their debts. Suddenly, they see the Bravery Quartet who are here to steal stuff from Artemis. They use a hilarious combination of underwear magic, but Mélie's powerful personality takes over and makes quick work of them. Dawn falls from the castle, so Seth takes his broom to save him. However, he can't do anything because of the gloves. Despite the risk of expulsion, he removes the gloves and saves Dawn. Thankfully, Yaga does not expel him because Seth did the right thing. Yaga also gives him special gloves that won't tear when he uses magic. Yaga also tells him that not all Inquisitors are bad people, some are even good. With perfect timing, we see Captain Dragunov catching flying fish and cooking for his men with his own hands. Such a nice and upstanding guy he is. One day, they are asked for help by another group of Inquisitors led by Captain Edmund. Edmund was attacked by Nemesis. He has also captured a lot of people, and he claims that they are evil sorcerers who were harassing normal people. When they see a Nemesis going towards the nearby town, Edmund just ignores it, happy that it's not attacking them. But Dragunov gathers his own men to save the innocent citizens of that town. They manage to divert it away for now. Once they return, Dragunov finds out that the prisoners are not sorcerers. Edmund lied just about them so he could gain more reputation. Dragunov frees the innocent people and takes Edmund as a prisoner. Later, Dragunov thinks about how the Nemesis already had a wound. He's confused because he doesn't know how he got it. High up in the skies, we see a mysterious sorcerer named Grim. He was the one who weakened the Nemesis so Dragunov could stop it temporarily. One day, there is a festival at Artemis. Since Seth has been spending so much money, Doc suggests he enter the Quidditch tournament. I mean the broomstick tournament. The winner gets the prize money. Just then, a rich and spoiled kid comes to tease him. Draco Malfoy, I mean, Nick is actually last year's winner, though Mélie claims that he did it by cheating, of course. Seth uses the broomstick that Alma gave him, but Nick and the other sorcerers have super fancy broomsticks with the latest technology. Nimbus 2001, Firebolt, and all that. Despite their low chance, Doc puts his bet on them. Seth actually starts rising to the first position. Despite looking old, Alma's broomstick is actually pretty powerful. But Majesty is a super cheater. He comes on his giant machine and he starts attacking Seth. Apparently, he has put his bet on Nick, so Seth goes on top of it and destroys his ship. Mélie falls, but Seth grabs her and they continue their race. Nick's two friends fall, but he's only focused on winning. Meanwhile, Seth saves them. Nick is the winner, but everyone is more impressed with Seth. Since they're still in lots of debt, Doc realizes that they need to earn more money. He finds a request for a Nemesis hunt. The request is from a place called Rumbletown. Doc is hesitant, but when he sees that Miss Melba is impressed, he decides to go, along with Seth and Mélie. Captain Dragunov sees them and follows them. On the way, Doc reminds them that Rumbletown is under the control of the Inquisitors, so they need to be very, very, very careful. However, when they arrive, the town is empty with no people around. Pretty sus. Suddenly, they see the Nemesis, which is smaller than normal. They chase after it, but there are two of them. Seth uses his training to knock down one of them, but suddenly, someone plays flute music. Hearing this, the Nemesis starts running towards it. More and more Nemesis appear and go towards the music. Seth and Mélie go after it, but the mysterious sorcerer, Grim, stops him and breaks his broomstick. Grim asks him why he's here, but Seth doesn't answer. They get into a fight, but Grim easily overpowers him. Then he leaves mysteriously. Some Inquisitors come to the scene and they spot Seth and Mélie, so they report them to the Inquisition captain of the town, Captain Conrad. Conrad immediately sends his Inquisitors on a sorcerer hunt, so Seth, Mélie, and Doc have to hide. Dragunov also comes to Rumbletown looking for Seth and his friends. Conrad does not like that he has to work together with Dragunov. He wanted to get all the glory himself. Meanwhile, Seth and his friends reach the family who sent the request for the Nemesis hunt. Their eldest son, Taj, came in contact with the Nemesis, so now he's been cursed. The family cannot report it to the Inquisition because they would arrest Taj for being infected. On top of that, they're immigrants in this town, so they're naturally disrespected by the citizens in this town. The family also says that many people have been disappearing as well, but the Inquisitors are not looking for them. They go to the place where Taj was attacked by the Nemesis. Inside, they find a tree with feathers all over it. That night, they see those same hordes of Nemesis running around town. Seth attacks some of them, but the Nemesis uses their own magic to fight back. Still, Mélie manages to trap 3 of them. That means a lot of money. But Grimm suddenly appears at the scene and he kills all the Nemesis. Then he escapes. Before he can disappear, Mélie puts a marker on him. Then Grimm goes to a graveyard and puts 2 Inquisition soldiers in a coffin. That night, Seth tells Doc about some strange symbols he saw on the Nemesis. Doc says that it means a sorcerer is controlling them. Sorcerers who control Nemesis for their own purposes are dangerous people, and they are called Domitors. That flute girl we saw earlier actually turns out to be a Domitor. Meanwhile, Dragunov sees the prejudice against immigrants, and he finds out that Conrad did this on purpose, because Conrad is a racist villain and he wants to push out the immigrants. Dragunov also suspects that Conrad is not doing anything about the Nemesis on purpose in the hopes that they will kill more immigrants. Finally, Dragunov informs him that their leader, Inquisition General Torque, is coming the next day with the Miracle Maker. The Miracle Makers are a group of extremely powerful inquisitors. Seth and Mélie go to Taj's house, but they are nowhere to be seen. A man informs them that Taj's family has been arrested by the Inquisitors. Conrad goes to the people and blames the immigrants for all the danger that has been happening. He claims that the immigrants are terrorists. He rouses all his people to kill the immigrants. And just like that, everyone goes mad and starts hunting immigrants. Meanwhile, Doc sees a house full of Nemesis. He wonders why the Inquisitors are not doing anything. Just then, an Inquisitor comes and captures him. Elsewhere, the people are about to kill Taj, but Seth saves him and scares the people away, just like Alma saved him a long time ago. More people come to fight them. Mélie's dark personality takes over. Before she can hurt the people, Seth takes her away. Suddenly, Conrad shoots at them with cannons. So they get into a battle. Dragunov shoots away Mélie's wand, so she's helpless. They prevent Seth from doing anything by threatening to kill Doc. They put Mélie inside the black silver cage, and then they take away Seth's gloves so that he won't use his magic. Then, Conrad closes the gates and prepares to kill everyone inside, whether they are immigrants or native people. So, Seth gathers the magic in bare hands, even without the gloves, because, yeah, he can do that. He magic punches Conrad and sends him flying, but Conrad gets up and he gets a power-up. Then, he commands his men to shoot, but just then, Grimm appears and stops the shells. He heals Seth and he shoots the shells back at the Inquisitors. Grimm apologizes for not being clear earlier. He is here looking for the Domitor who controls the Nemesis. He thought Seth was working with her, but now it's clear that he's not. Just then, the Domitor girl arrives and sends the Nemesis at the people. Grimm goes to stop the girl while Conrad comes to fight Seth. Mélie also gets out of the cage with a little help from Bobley. Conrad reveals that he's been working with the flute-playing girl. Then he uses white silver to fight Seth. It can cancel out magic. Dragunov kills a Nemesis that is about to kill a citizen. He sees Mélie kill another Nemesis, so he saves her from another Nemesis. While Seth and Conrad are engaged in battle, Taj goes to open the gates so that the people can get out. However, the gate was double-locked, so it does not open. The belle of the town breaks free and drops on the Inquisition headquarters. Conrad is shocked and angry at the girl, but the girl reveals her backstory. Her name is Hemeline, and when she was just a child, she and other sorcerer kids were imprisoned for being cursed. In order to give them courage, a guard named Augumare used to play the flute. Augumare assured the kids that they are not monsters, and he was the one who gave the flute to Hemeline. Conrad was just a normal guard back then, and even then he was a major racist. One night, Conrad let go of the kids while pretending to help them. The citizens saw them and killed them. Augumare managed to save only Hemeline on time. One day, a Nemesis egg fell on Rumbletown. Taking advantage of this confusion, Conrad killed Augumare. Hemeline ran away before he could kill her too. From a safe distance, she started playing the flute and the Nemesis appeared around her. They were entranced by her music and they became friends after that. Hemeline reveals that Conrad is working with her, a sorcerer. Hemeline is still pissed at the people for their racism and for killing her friends, so she prepares to kill everyone. But Grimm interrupts before she can release her magic. Seth is extra angry at Conrad for causing all of this. He uses the full extent of his powers and breaks his special weapon. The attack breaks the wall and the people escape. Taj is reunited with his family. Dragunov goes to arrest Seth, but Hemeline is still out there, so they decide to fix these issues first. Meanwhile, Hemeline cuts Grimm, so he retreats for now. Mélie is also fighting Nemesis. Seth shows her the baby Doc that he found in his old body, apparently due to some magic. Grimm tells them that Hemeline is very powerful, but Mélie says she has a plan. They go to attack Mélie, but she fights back with hundreds of Nemeses. They are about to kill them, but suddenly Seth gets teleported into the clock tower. A member of the Inquisitor's miracle workers named Piodon saves him, and he has horns just like Seth. Meanwhile, Mélie and Grimm continue fighting Mélie. Mélie steals Méline's magic. Then, Grimm pulls out a super huge weapon and starts killing the Nemesis. Elsewhere, Piodon tells Seth that he isn't using the full potential of his powers because of the seal on his cheek. The seal covers the wound that the Nemesis gave him when he was young. Mélie is still hell-bent on her revenge, so she uses magic that she had sealed on a scroll. She uses it to wreak havoc. But Seth arrives from below and starts fighting Mélie. They stop fighting for a moment to have a little talk. She says that normal humans will never accept them, and they'll always be racist towards sorcerers like them. Seth agrees that the people have always hated them. Mélie's guard is lowered and she comes close. Seth says that normal people may hate them, but he himself will never be a monster. Then he throws away her scroll, which was giving her extra magic, and he manages to pin her down. Instead of handing her over to some authorities, he asks her to join him in destroying Radiant. Suddenly, General Torque and his miracle makers arrive at the scene. They use a different kind of magic called miracles. The miracle makers are actually here to arrest Seth on the charges of many murders of many high-profile people. Now, Seth never actually committed any of those crimes, but he starts feeling like he knows those names. Seeing this, Mélie uses her magic at the miracle makers. Then she gives him her scroll, asking him to take care of her Nemesis friends who are inside. She also asks him to change this cruel world. Grimm takes Seth and Mélie away while Mélie goes to fight them, but Torque comes from behind and kills her easily. Seth gets angry and jumps back, but another miracle maker named Von Tepes stops him. Von Tepes is about to kill him, but Piodon does something behind the scenes, and Seth goes full Ninetail mode on them. He becomes like a demon and defeats Von Tepes easily. Then he gets into a battle with Torque, who also uses a very powerful miracle. He defeats Seth, so Grimm takes him away. He covers him in bandages to heal him. Grimm also reveals that he's the reason behind the disappearings in Rumbletown, but he was just putting the cursed people in a safe place to protect them from the Inquisitors. Suddenly, Majesty sends a cat bus to save them. They use fireworks as a distraction and escape from Rumbletown. Seth is in a deep coma, and he starts seeing all his memories. Piodon comes into his memories. He reveals that he is Seth's older brother, but Seth is too depressed about Méline's death and his own helplessness. He also hates that he became a monster while fighting Torque. Seth wakes back up in Artemis after an entire week. Grimm says that Torque uses miracles that cancel out their sorcerer magic. This means Seth might not be able to use magic in his left hand properly. Mélie informs him that Méline's Nemesis friends are safe in the capture facility of Artemis. Doc is worried that Melba won't like him anymore since he's a baby now, but she actually finds him to be really adorable. Melba says that they're all famous as the saviors of Rumbletown, but they're calling Méline an evil sorcerer. Seth does not like that. Majesty sends an invitation to them to a party that night that he's throwing in their honor. Doc drinks a growth potion, but he only grows to a slightly older kid. At the party, Majesty congratulates Seth in front of everyone, calling him a hero who did all those things in Rumbletown. Draco, sorry, this is just so fun. I mean, Nick does not accept Seth's accomplishments, so he comes to tease him. Seth just punches him and leaves. Seth starts thinking about Méline and how she said that all Nemesis aren't evil creatures. Just then, Alma arrives at Artemis. She immediately beats him up for not contacting her earlier and letting her know how he's doing. She gives him a letter from Taj. According to the letter, everyone knows that Sorcerers saved their lives from Conrad. They are all thankful to him, and they have started rebuilding Rumbletown. Alma says that the people from their old village have also changed their attitudes towards Alma because of Seth. Seth stops being gloomy when he realizes that he's had positive effects too. Alma and Seth receive a letter from Yaga. Yaga says that the Sorcerer Knights are looking for Radiant in a place called Castle in Merlin, the capital of Sifendir. But the Inquisitors are also going to hunt for sorcerers in that place. However, Doc refuses to go with him. He tells Seth that his actions are putting innocent people like Mélie in danger. Does Seth really want to risk that? Majesty also reminds him that Artemis is the only place in the world that is truly safe for sorcerers. Suddenly, hundreds of Nemesis eggs fall from the sky, but Majesty puts a shield around Artemis and stops the eggs. However, one of the eggs lands on a nearby island where Mélie has gone to pick mushrooms, so Seth quickly goes to her. The Nemesis comes and starts attacking her, but Seth saves her. They work together to knock it down, but Seth does not feel that old passion anymore because he has stopped seeing Nemesis as evil things. Suddenly, the Nemesis drags him underwater and Seth turns into a beast again. He uses his tremendous powers to easily defeat the Nemesis. The moment he does so, he regrets it. Alma also realizes that he used his strange demonic power, so that night Seth buys a new broom for Mélie and he leaves her a note saying his journey is too dangerous and he does not want to endanger her. Then he leaves with Alma to find the Sorcerer Knights at Castle and Merlin. Piodon is also excited at Seth's new journey. He says that there are still many secrets that Seth will find out soon. We will find out too in Season 2. If you enjoy the series, don't forget to leave a comment and a like to help the channel out. Thanks for watching!